That afternoon in Brooklyn, a small corner cafe was buzzing with people, but in the quiet spot by the window, Emily sat alone. She wasn't doing much, just sipping a lukewarm latte every now and then, staring blankly out the window. Her mind was restless. She'd just been rejected by the fifth company this week. Emily was beautiful. Not the kind of beauty that screams for attention, but the quiet, unforgettable kind. That's exactly why Lucas, a sharply dressed man who looked like he stepped out of a magazine cover, noticed her the moment he entered the cafe. As a CEO of a Manhattan-based tech firm, Lucas had only come to Brooklyn to escape for a day from meetings, pressure, and his string of short-lived flings. "Hi there," he said casually, as if they'd known each other for years. Emily looked up, a little surprised, but offered a soft smile. "Hi." Her eyes briefly scanned his face. Sharp jawline, charming smile, and an intense gaze. Something about him made her heart skip a beat. "You here alone?" Lucas asked after a brief introduction. "Yeah, I'm just waiting for some callback interviews," Emily replied, her voice soft but steady. "Well, good luck. And honestly, you're the most beautiful woman in this cafe," Lucas said, looking straight into her eyes. "You're joking, right?" Emily laughed lightly, half flattered, half guarded. "I'm not," Lucas shook his head. Emily wasn't sure whether to believe him. But for the first time in weeks, she felt a little warmth inside her chest. And of course, she had no idea that today's latte would be the beginning of a complicated love filled with secrets she never saw coming. In the days that followed, Emily and Lucas began seeing each other more frequently. That cafe conversation turned out to be the start of something strange and unexpected, even for Emily herself. Lucas was always on time. Every afternoon, he would show up with that familiar smile and a different coffee drink for her. At first, Emily was hesitant, but the more they talked, the more she felt heard, cared for, maybe even understood. Lucas would tell her about his business trips, the pressure of running a company in Manhattan, and the nights he couldn't sleep because life felt empty. Emily didn't speak much, but sometimes her silence was the gentlest answer. One afternoon, as the sunset bathed the streets in golden light, Lucas looked at her for a long moment and then suddenly leaned in to kiss her. It was Emily's first kiss, soft, unexpected, unforgettable. Emily felt like she was falling in love. And for the first time in years, she allowed her heart to feel freely. But what Emily didn't know was that Lucas wasn't in Brooklyn for good. He was just there for a short break, a few weeks to escape the noise of Manhattan, and even more importantly, Lucas had never intended to commit to anyone. He wasn't a bad man, just unready. To Lucas, Emily was a breath of fresh air, a sweet distraction, but that feeling, for him, wasn't yet love. One evening, Lucas received a call from his older brother, Andrew, urgently asking him to return to Manhattan. The company needed him, and so his temporary escape had to end. That night, Lucas looked into Emily's eyes. She was smiling, casually sharing her dreams about the future. He didn't have the courage to tell her the truth. "I'll be back soon," Lucas whispered, but in his heart, he knew he might never come back. Manhattan welcomed Lucas back with blaring horns and an overwhelming list of meetings. But the most exhausting part wasn't the work. It was the man waiting for him at the company's office, Andrew, his older brother. "Nice of you to finally show up," Andrew said coldly, arms crossed. Lucas sank into the leather chair across from the desk. He was used to Andrew's lectures, but today, something felt different. Andrew's gaze was sharper, heavier. "Do you think you can live like a child forever, Lucas?" "I'm just enjoying life." "With whose money?" "Dad's. And the company you abandoned for 2 years. Who's been carrying the weight?" "Me." Lucas gave a dry laugh, but said nothing. Andrew slid an envelope across the desk. Inside was a financial limit. Lucas could now only spend $1,000, 0 cents, a month. "What? I spend that in a single night." "Exactly the problem," Andrew snapped. "If you still want freedom, you need to learn responsibility." Lucas stood, furious. But as he turned away, his chest felt heavy. For the first time in his life, he realized he couldn't escape anymore. In a small apartment in Queens, Emily crushed yet another tissue in her hands. It had been over a month since Lucas left. No texts, no calls, not even a real goodbye. Her first love turned out to be nothing more than a fleeting game. She had been foolish to believe, to love so quickly. And now, all she had left was a slow-burning hurt that refused to fade. She had called many times, but no one ever picked up. Today, she tried again. Suddenly, the phone rang. Her heart felt like it had come back to life. Hello? Lucas? Are you okay? Why haven't you called me? I've been so worried. When are you coming back? But it wasn't Lucas on the other end. A different male voice answered. Who is this? Huh? Who are you? This is Lucas's number. Who are you? And why do you have his phone? Give it back or I'll curse you. A soft chuckle came through the line. Sorry, what's your name? Emily. Emily, I'm Lucas's older brother. His phone is with me. He's busy. Too busy to call? Please just tell him to call me back. I'm sorry, but I can't do that. What? Why not? I'm his girlfriend from Brooklyn. He promised he'd come back and marry me. Oh, the girlfriend from Brooklyn. You're not the first. Everywhere he goes, there's a girlfriend. Brooklyn, Palawan, Cebu, Zamboanga, Leyte. There are so many I've lost track. Emily, my brother is a heartbreaker. If I were you, I'd forget him. You deserve better. Emily didn't answer, but her quiet sobs echoed through the phone. Andrew winced and quickly hung up. As for Lucas, living without money had opened his eyes to the burden his brother had carried for so long. If I hadn't been punished like this, I don't think I would have ever woken up, he thought. It's time I start running the company. With that, he went straight to Andrew's mansion. When Andrew saw him arrive, he was surprised. What is it now, looking for more pocket money? You know I'm not giving you anything anymore. No, Andrew, I came to thank you. Thank you for always being my brother, sometimes more like a father. If you hadn't disciplined me, I wouldn't have realized how wrong I was. Now I want to take responsibility and run the company. Andrew was stunned, but secretly relieved. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. Before we get to that, there was a girl who called today. She said you promised to marry her. Do you remember who she is? Huh? What? I went to Cebu, Palawan, Brooklyn. I honestly forgot all their names. Andrew shook his head. You really are a playboy. I hope this time you actually change. I'll try my best, Andrew. Good. You'll run the company, and I'll finally have some time to find a wife. Deal. I'll do my best. One afternoon, while sorting through some old things, Emily stumbled across an old photo of her and her sister Clare at the Jersey Shore years ago. They had once been inseparable, until Clare was sent to live with relatives in New Jersey after their parents' divorce. Without thinking much, Emily picked up her phone. Do you have time to meet? I need you. Clare, now an independent interior designer, was surprised to see her sister's name after so many years. But when she saw Emily crying in a Brooklyn cafe, she couldn't look away. I want him to feel the pain I felt, Clare, and you're the only one who can make that happen. Clare froze. Her heart wasn't made for revenge plots, but her sister's eyes, so vulnerable, so pleading, softened her resolve. What do you want me to do? Clare asked, already knowing the answer would change everything. Apply to be Lucas's personal assistant. Make him fall for you, and when he does, leave him. Make him feel what it's like to be left behind. Clare hesitated, but memories of their childhood, of the times she abandoned her little sister out of resentment, haunted her enough to say yes. A few weeks later, Clare, dressed in a simple yet elegant business dress, walked into Lucas's main office in Midtown Manhattan. She was ready, or at least she believed she was, to shatter the heart of the man who once shattered her sister's. Clare had no idea what waited for her behind the tall glass doors. She thought it would be simple. Walk in, charm Lucas, and leave at the right moment. But from the moment the office door opened, everything began to shift. Lucas was seated behind his desk, eyes tired, twirling a pen between his fingers, like every interview today had drained him completely. "Good morning, I'm Claire Dawson. I'm here for the personal assistant interview." Lucas looked up, and for a brief second, time stood still. She didn't look like anyone he'd ever met. Not flirty, not timid. Her eyes were steady, but her voice was surprisingly gentle. "I don't need another person reading their resume like a robot," Lucas said bluntly. Claire offered a soft smile. "Good. I wasn't planning to. But if you think your bad mood gives you the right to bark at people, maybe you should just take the day off." Lucas froze. No one had ever spoken to him like that. No woman had ever looked him straight in the eye and said something so bold. For the first time, he wasn't bored. "Sit down," he said quickly. "Give me your resume." Claire handed him the document, trying to keep calm, but her heart was pounding. This man, he was nothing like the cold, selfish figure Emily had described. Lucas glanced at the paper and looked up. "Claire? You're hired, but you haven't even read. No need. I need someone like you. Start tomorrow." While Claire was still caught off guard, Lucas reached out, gently took her hand, and placed a soft kiss on the back of it. Claire quickly pulled her hand away. "Sir, we work together. Please, don't flirt with me," she said plainly, making Lucas chuckle. "Sorry, you're just too beautiful. I'll do my job well. Don't worry," Claire replied before walking out of the room. That evening, Lucas returned home in an unusually cheerful mood. He even hummed to himself as he stepped into his brother Andrew's mansion. Andrew was surprised to see him so elated. "Lucas, what's going on? Did you win the lottery?" "Not the lottery, but today I met someone really special." Andrew laughed loudly. "Let me guess, another girl?" "She's not like the others. She's different. For the first time in my life, I got scolded, and somehow it made me happy. I think maybe I actually like her." "You hired her?" "Yeah, she's my new personal assistant." Andrew shook his head and laughed harder. "Poor girl, just another victim of this family's resident playboy." The next morning, Claire arrived at the company very early. As soon as she set her bag down, she was summoned to Lucas's office. "Sir, is there anything you need me to do?" she asked, a bit uneasy as Lucas kept staring at her without saying a word. "Why won't you look at me?" he asked. "Because your gaze makes me uncomfortable. I've been standing here, and you still haven't told me why you called me in. If there's nothing urgent, I'd like to return to my work." "Sit on my lap and let me touch you," Lucas said suddenly, his voice low and suggestive. Claire was stunned. "Excuse me, what did you say?" "Oh, I didn't realize you were standing there so long. You know, you're so beautiful. I could look at you all night without getting tired." Claire sighed. "I came here to work, not to be admired. If you called me here just to flirt, I'll be going now." "Wait, read and summarize these for me," he said, placing a thick stack of documents on the table. Claire glanced at the papers and asked, "That's all, right?" She reached out to take the documents, but Lucas suddenly grabbed her hand. She looked him straight in the eyes, trying to stay calm. "Do you have a boyfriend? Will you have dinner with me?" Claire pulled her hand away and said firmly, "I don't have a boyfriend, but I'm not here to date my boss. If this is how you do business, I'll be resigning." She quickly left the room, closed the door behind her, and leaned against the wall, clutching her chest. Her heart was pounding. "He's really handsome," she thought, "but I must not fall for him. I came here because of Emily, to make him pay." Within just a few weeks, Claire had become an essential part of Lucas's life. She didn't just keep his work organized. She was the first person to ever challenge him when he was wrong, and that made him fall for her. Lucas had never been like this before. No more late nights at bars, no more meaningless flings. He woke up every day for one reason: Claire. Claire, however, was torn. She had come with a mission, a promise to her sister, but each look from Lucas, each small gesture of care, chipped away at her defenses. Then one night, Claire was preparing dinner when the doorbell rang. She quickly wiped her hands and went to answer it. Lucas stood there, holding a bouquet of fresh flowers and wearing a bright smile. "Is dinner ready?" he asked. "Perfect timing," Claire replied, accepting the bouquet with a gentle smile. Once inside, Lucas glanced at the dishes laid out on the table and couldn't help but exclaim, "Wow, it's been ages since I had curry. And what's this one? Looks like ground meat." "That's sisig. You should try it." Lucas took a bite and his eyes widened in surprise. "Oh my God, this is incredible. I didn't know food could taste this good. You're the perfect woman to be my wife." Claire smiled, trying to hide her emotions. "You're flattering me again." But deep down, her heart fluttered. She began to question herself. Could she still go through with her plan for revenge when she was truly falling in love with this man? After dinner, they sat together in the living room, watching a movie. Lucas slowly reached out and gently held Claire's hand. She turned to look at him. "May I hold your hand like this?" he asked. She didn't answer, but her silence was consent. Gradually, Lucas moved closer. On the screen, the main characters shared a kiss, and Claire's and Lucas's eyes met. "Lucas, you're getting a bit too close," Claire said, trying to keep some distance. "I want to be even closer," Lucas whispered, then kissed the palm of her hand. "Claire, I love you. I know it's fast, but I can't help it. From the day you scolded me in the office, you changed my life. I know I may not be someone worth loving, but I'm sincere. Please, give me a chance to prove it." Before Claire could say anything, Lucas kissed her. She tried to resist, but her heart couldn't deny it. In that moment, she let her feelings lead the way. They kissed deeply, passionately, arms wrapped tightly around each other, their heartbeats aligned. And then, in mutual affection and desire, they gave themselves to one another. From that night on, Lucas was a changed man. His life suddenly felt meaningful. Claire officially became his girlfriend, his inspiration, the woman who had truly transformed him. One morning, while Claire was cooking in the kitchen, Lucas came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist, and kissed her bare shoulder. "Lucas, let me finish cooking," Claire said with a playful smile. "But my future wife smells too good. I can't resist," Lucas replied, his voice full of affection. Claire set the spoon down, turned to face him, and looked into his eyes. "What is it? You've gone quiet." Lucas kissed the palm of her hand gently. "Nothing. I was just thinking, if I could turn back time, I'd come find you sooner." One evening, Lucas stood waiting at Claire's front gate. She stepped out, as fresh and radiant as ever, though her eyes betrayed a hint of unease. "You look beautiful as always," Lucas complimented. "Well, we're having dinner with your brother tonight. Of course, I had to dress properly." "Don't worry, I've told Andrew so much about you, I'm sure he's going to love you." They arrived at Andrew's villa, where he greeted them warmly. "Welcome, both of you. Come in. My girlfriend's in the kitchen preparing the main course." "Oh? So you finally have a girlfriend?" "Must be someone special," Lucas teased. Andrew laughed heartily. "I think this one's for real." A woman's voice called out from the dining room, "Main course is ready." Lucas and Claire turned to look and froze in shock. The woman who stepped out, smiling as if nothing had ever happened, was Emily. She walked up gracefully, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "Emily, this is my younger brother, Lucas, and this is his girlfriend, Claire," Andrew introduced with ease. Emily extended a hand, her tone sweet but sharp like a blade. "Lovely to meet you, Claire, and Lucas." Her eyes skimmed over Lucas with playful mockery. Claire's heart pounded. Lucas tried to stay calm, but inside he was spiraling. The dinner table was heavy with unspoken tension. Neither Lucas nor Claire could focus. Lucas excused himself to get some air. Emily, moments later, followed suit. Out in the garden, Lucas turned to her, furious. "What are you doing, Emily? Are you trying to ruin everything?" Emily smiled and stepped closer. "Lucas, I never wanted Andrew. I only ever wanted you. And I know you still want me too, don't you?" "Stop it. I love Claire." "And I love you," Emily whispered, then suddenly kissed him. At that exact moment, Andrew appeared. "Lucas!" Both Lucas and Emily froze. Emily backed away in alarm. "It's not what it looks like, Andrew." But Andrew's face was already red with rage. He stormed toward Lucas and landed 2 hard punches. "I trusted you, and this is how you repay me? Are you even my brother anymore?" "Andrew, please, let me explain. I didn't kiss her. Get out of my sight, Lucas, before I forget we share the same blood." Stunned and bruised, Lucas left the garden and ran to find Clare. He found her sitting alone in the room, tears streaming down her face. "Clare, please don't misunderstand. I love you. I didn't betray you." Clare didn't speak. She just let the tears fall. "Clare, I need to tell you the truth. I had a past with Emily. It wasn't serious, but—" "I already know, Lucas," she interrupted. "What?" "Emily is my sister." Those words hit Lucas like a punch to the chest. "What?" "Yes, I approached you because of her. At first, it was all revenge, but I didn't expect to actually fall in love with you." Clare choked on her own words, crying harder. "I'm sorry. I know you can't forgive me." Lucas gently held her face, wiping her tears. "I don't care what your past is. I only know one thing. I love you, and I still want to marry you." Clare looked up at him, eyes wide with disbelief. "But I don't deserve you." "You do. Nothing will ever change how I feel." And with that, they held each other tightly, as if nothing in the world could tear them apart. The next day, Lucas and Clare decided to face the truth. They went to see Andrew, who was still visibly upset. "You have to let me explain," Lucas began, looking his brother straight in the eyes. "No need. I don't want to hear another word from you," Andrew replied coldly. "I know you're angry, but please, let me say this." Clare spoke up, her voice trembling. "Emily is my half-sister. Same mother, different fathers. I didn't come into Lucas's life by accident. At first, I wanted revenge on behalf of my sister." Andrew froze. "But everything changed once I got to know who Lucas really is. He's changed. And I fell in love with him." Lucas stepped forward. "I love her, and I'm sorry for everything I've done, to you and to Emily." Andrew remained silent for a long moment. Finally, he let out a deep sigh. "If what you say is true, then there's still one person who deserves a real apology: Emily." Lucas and Clare both nodded. They went to find Emily, who was sitting quietly in the garden behind the house. When she saw them approaching, Emily stood up immediately. "What else is there to say?" she asked, her tone still cold. "Emily," Lucas began, I'm sorry for hurting you. You're a good woman, but I didn't deserve you. I was never serious, and I regret the pain I caused." Emily bit her lip, then turned to Clare. "And you? Did you come to take the man I loved too?" Clare stepped forward, her voice shaky but firm. "I'm sorry. I never meant to fall for him, but I couldn't control my heart. I know you hate me, but you're the only family I have left. I don't want to lose you." Emily stared at the two of them. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then tears slipped down her cheeks. "I thought love would make me happy, but maybe what I really needed was forgiveness." She stepped forward and hugged Clare tightly. "I'm sorry too, for making you do something against your heart. I was just lonely." Lucas stood still, overcome with emotion. Clare and Emily cried in each other's arms. "I promise I'll never let you be alone again," Clare whispered. Emily nodded, smiling through her tears. "And Lucas," she said, turning to him, "take care of my sister. If you ever make her cry, I swear you'll answer to me." "I promise," Lucas said, placing a hand over his heart. "I'll love her for the rest of my life." Not long after, Lucas and Clare's wedding took place in a sunlit garden surrounded by flowers. Andrew stood proudly by his brother's side, while Emily, glowing with peace, handed the bouquet to her little sister. As Clare walked down the aisle, Lucas's eyes held nothing but admiration, respect, and deep, unwavering love. "I love you," he whispered as she placed her hand in his. "I love you too, Lucas, with all my heart." Andrew officiated the ceremony in the warm presence of close friends and family. "Congratulations, little brother. You finally found the one," he said with a gentle smile. "We only got here because of you and Emily," Lucas replied sincerely. That evening, as music played softly and guests danced beneath the golden lights, Andrew approached Emily. "Still thinking of revenge?" he teased. Emily laughed. "No, I want to love again. If someone is willing." Andrew looked at her deeply. "I'll be right here if you're willing to give me a chance." Emily blinked, surprised. Then she smiled. "Maybe, I'll try." They clinked their glasses as gentle music floated through the night under a sky full of stars.